Hello and welcome back to Entirely English and the second part of our dinner and dating manners. Sorry I had to cut this in half. I haven't finished editing yet, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a second part of three or the second half. I have to wait and see. There'll be an announcement at the end. So anyway, last time we'd got as far as getting to the restaurant and sitting down at the table. Let's continue from there, shall we? As we talked about before with shops, in a restaurant, your conversation should be conducted in low tones. Don't shout, don't be boisterous, don't use great big Brian Blessed kind of voice. Talk to the person just loud enough for them to hear and then for you to hear. It's a private conversation, you don't want everybody else to hear anyway. And a conversation is key. Maybe you order some drinks while you're waiting, and the drinks will come to in a second when we talk about the menu. But I want to talk about conversation. The conversation should be low volume, and it's very important that you listen. Whether you are the lady or the gentleman, listen to your companion's statements. Ask questions to show interest. This is polite. But don't interrogate them. What's your name? How old are you? Where do you come from? Never ask a lady her age. It is said that polite conversation builds on the comments of the other person. So if your companion says, oh, I've worked in the finance industry for 20 years, you say, oh, really? How did you get started? You build on it. What do you like to do at the weekends? Oh, I love going swimming. Really? Where do you go? Build on the conversation.
It's more complicated than people realize. Carburetor has to mix gas and air in just the right combination, and then spark plug has to ignite that mixture, which drives the piston and the connecting rods and the drive shaft.
Where did you learn so much about cars?
From my father.
And respond. Oh, I love to go swimming as well. I like the Lido down at blah, blah, blah. Don't just ask questions, make statements. Keep the conversation flowing, keep building on each other's comments. Now, when you sit down, the waiter might will certainly give you menus and will ask you if you'd like something to drink. At this point, a bit like the menu, you should not presume what your partner is going to have. Sorry, just wait a minute for that car to stop making a noise. Okay, sorry about that. One of my neighbours has one of those ridiculously big cars, which is ridiculous because we live in the countryside and the roads are too narrow for it, and it's noisy and disturbs everybody. Bad manners, not being considerate, just being flash. Anyway, back to our drinks and the menu. Sometimes in films you will see the gentleman say, I'll order for us both. As no gentleman. The situation will obviously dictate what happens, but it can be appropriate to make suggestions, particularly if the restaurant is alien to your partner. For example, the woman might not have eaten in a French restaurant before, and you've taken her to a French restaurant. Or you might not have eaten in a Greek restaurant before, and she suggested a Greek restaurant. So, unless it's alien to them, you let the person look through the menu. Maybe discuss some of the dishes. Oh, this one sounds nice. If it is completely alien, maybe even the menu is written in French, for example. You might ask them what sort of food they like. If they say something like fairly mild, and you make a suggestion and they say, oh no, I don't eat meat. Again, build on it. Don't suggest the steak tartare. Say, oh, what about escargot? Is that okay for you? Oh my God, no. And if it's a restaurant that is new for both of you, maybe it's a new restaurant opened in town and you decided to try it, discuss the menu. It's another part of discussion, another part of conversation. And you learn about each other that way as well. Oh yes, I had this when I was in Athens last year. It's so nice. Really? What's it like? What's the flavour? Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, it was the same with the drinks at the beginning. Don't say, oh, we'll both have this Chardonnay or something. Ask the person what they would like to drink. At the start of the meal, it might be just maybe it's just a glass of water. You don't know what the other person wants to drink before the meal. With the meal, you might make suggestions, they might make suggestions. If the meal is new to you both, you don't know what it is, maybe it's in some foreign language, maybe ingredients sound good but you're not sure. Or when you want to make the order, you call the waiter over. And again, like shops, you don't shout, "Oi!" You don't click your fingers. You make a gesture. Try to catch the waiter's eye, and he'll okay. And he comes over and asks, "Are you ready to order?" So then you might place your order, each of you. You might place the order for both of you. Or you might ask the waiter his suggestions about, maybe you made a short list of things. What's this like? Is this good? Is this tasty? Is this popular? And likewise, you might ask, what wine would you suggest to go with this? Yeah, you do not have to be all-knowing. Show your companion that you are willing to learn, willing to listen to other people. It's a good sign. And while you're waiting for the meal, obviously, then we can get into the proper conversation, low tones, talk about the other person, try to find out, maybe mentioning something that was spoken about when you knew this person in a group. Or you met them at the party and you heard something that was said, and you say, "Was it true that you went skiing in Saint Laurent?" You know, show interest, listen, respond, and keep eye contact. Very important. Eye contact shows you're not lying and shows your interest. It's good manners. Showing interest in other people is good manners. It's a fundamental thing. Whether it's a date, a business meeting, a chat with your brother, whatever. Showing that you are interested, that you're not thinking about the next thing you're going to say, is good manners. Now, I just want to touch on a modern thing here, which I'll come to in the next video as well. Mobile phones. Now, let me ask you this. On a first date, which is more important? Listening to your partner or finding out who's posted something on Facebook? Getting to know your partner or seeing a text message from your mate telling you the latest football score? Right. So you should turn your phone off, unless this is something like a blind date, or you set up one of those, I don't know what they call it, like a safety net. You ask your friend to call you at 10:15. Then, if the date is going badly, you have an excuse to escape. You say, "Oh no, my house is on fire, I've got to go." Unless you've got something like that, turn your mobile phone off. Your attention should be all on your partner, and a bit for the food, and your good manners while eating. That's going to be in the next video. This is going to be quite long. I'm going to have to do some big editing to get this all on. So let's skip ahead to the end of the meal. Eating etiquette we'll talk about in the next video. The end of the meal, it's very much the reverse of the beginning of the meal. You signal the waiter that you want the bill. You don't say, "Oi, give me the bill." Normally we've got this gesture. It's like you're writing. You do that to the waiter and he knows you want the bill. It goes to the old days when they used to write out the bill before we had the computerized tills, the electronic tills. When they bring you the bill, well, this can be a bit difficult again in the modern world. Traditionally, the man would pay for the meal. Nowadays, these feminists, maybe not just feminists, but people say, if the man pays for the meal, he feels like he's bought the woman. This means that sometimes on the first date, the woman will say, "Let's go halves." To me, if you invite somebody, whether it's a prospective girlfriend or friend, if you invite somebody for a meal, you pay. That is correct. You invited them, you pay. If somebody says, "Do you want to join us for a meal?" that's different. You're joining them, then you would pay. If you are invited, "Come for a meal with me," they are going to pay. So if you've invited your girlfriend, prospective girlfriend, out for a meal, you should pay. If she says, "Let's split the bill in half," because of this modern social simply smile and ask, "Did you have a nice time?" If the lady answers demurely, "Yes, thank you," then say, "Then you can pay for the next one." This has a couple of nice advantages in it. Firstly, it says that you enjoyed the meal, you enjoyed her company, and you want a second date. Secondly, it allows the lady to accept you paying for the meal without feeling that she's been bought, because she is agreeing to pay for the next meal. And thirdly, it stops a lot of hassle with having to split the bill down the middle and maybe give the waiter 2 credit cards, or sit there with your calculator saying, "Okay, you had the squid and I didn't. I had the potatoes." So, that sort of thing is just not right. So it diffuses the situation. It lets both of you know that you want to see each other again. Obviously, if you didn't have a good time, if you find out you're not suitable for each other, then yeah, split the bill, split. But let's presume that this has gone well. So you diffuse the situation, and then you look at the bill. Just a quick check. Don't, again, get your calculator out and start working out whether they've charged you correctly. And here we get to the tipping part. Now, traditionally in Britain, we tip 10% plus. You round it up. If the meal was £30, you give them £3, you might give them £5. If the meal was £37, you give them £4 or £5. The tip is just rounded up. Some bills you receive these days will have a service charge of 10% on them. This is the tip, and I generally ask the waiter to remove it, and they will, and then you pay, and then you leave the cash, or you give the cash to the waiter himself, because I think I am tipping the waiter for his service. I've paid for the meal, I'm tipping the waiter. I'm not tipping the whole establishment. The idea is this 10% that they charge is then split between everybody who works there. No, I'm tipping the waiter. So I'd suggest get them to remove the 10% service charge, and then just give the waiter, or leave the money on the table for the waiter to take. Hello again. Yes, you guessed it, the video is still too long. I chopped it into 3 parts. Part 3 will be up in the next couple of days. Thank you for your patience. If you enjoyed this part, the story so far as it were, do click the like button. And if you want to be ready for when the next part is uploaded, click subscribe. I hope you're finding these interesting. I've cut it where I think it's suitable, right at the end of the meal before they leave, so we'll have the exuent stage left part. As I say, in the next couple of days, just got to do some editing, very slow editing. So, hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.